talking to my family about it, and I just told them I think it'd be cool to have something. I don't have anything that really is like documented of me. I don't take a lot of pictures or videos.
Yeah.
Like the most that I do, I deleted all my social media except Instagram. And the only thing I do is post on my story.
Yeah.
That shit's gone in 24 hours. So like nothing I'm really doing is being documented.
No, I hear you.
And dude, I mean, I have really started to do some cool stuff and just, no one really knows unless you know me.
Who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I'm glad you're here. And no, thanks to Jesh. This will be well documented.
Thank all of you guys for hosting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
You know what I want to tell you, bro? I appreciate you and who you are.
Thank you.
And who you embody. I feel like a lot of people don't really necessarily know the extractor community. It's very small.
Yeah.
But you really embody kind of what I think of, not just the cannabis industry, but really our little niche circle, which is the extractors, right?
Yeah.
Like cannabis extraction. We're kind of these fringe, outlaw, fuck the system kind of guys. And like, you're a poster child for that, bro. And you're an OG, and I love that about you. So
thank you. Yeah, no, I try to be real, man. We've been doing this a long time, well before it was allowed, and we got a chance to do it right, and we said, fuck it, let's do it right, and that's the whole brand is based on that, and the community is awesome. The extractor community is, well, our community, the gang, the Good Life gang's awesome. You know what I mean? They've been super, monumental and super helpful in helping me build a huge network with guys like yourself from all over the country, and being able to bounce ideas off each other. And, hey, why are you doing, we walked through the lab and right away we're like, hey, why are you using that? You know what I mean? What are you doing that? Mm-hmm. And it's friends like that, and it's guys like that pointing out little stuff that just help you get better. And so tapping into that network, tapping into that community has been like extremely helpful for me. And I contribute a lot of my success to it because it's helped me. They say that you're only as successful as you're only as smart as your circle. Yeah. And so when you create a group of such smart guys and guys and girls that are just, incredible minds, and you put them together, I think it's an awesome thing, and it's really cool because you get to meet people like yourself who have done such crazy things in the industry and tell crazy war stories, and sit on fucking in front of some nice camera equipment and tell the story.
We've done it A to Z.
Yeah. So you're not the likely face that you see in cannabis. You know what I mean? You almost look like an actor. You know what I mean? You've got like a very, clean cut look to yourself.
Thank you.
And then you said you're from Wyoming. Did you ever think you'd be in the cannabis industry?
Man. My journey is a wild one, bro.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Wild. I didn't always look like this. I went through a little bit of a hippie phase finding myself. And that's kind of why I found cannabis too. It was like, a little bit of a psychedelic journey.
Yeah, you had your dirtbag phase.
Had my dirtbag phase. And it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh man. Maybe I'll go through one again later in life, but rich.
That's probably a lot more comfortable.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot easier.
But yeah, man, I just never really I never really found anything that was like my thing. I feel like I was always kind of lost.
Yeah.
And when I started, I grew first before I started extracting, not like a crazy amount of time, 4 or 5 harvests.
Yeah.
2 decent sized ones. It was cool, and I wanted to be in the industry, but when I started doing extraction, dude, I was like,
this is it.
This is my shit. Like I absorbed it into my being.
Yeah.
I identify with it.
I think there's definitely that cool factor, and I definitely felt the same thing in the beginning. Is like when you first extract and you first do it, and you see what you can make, and you see the value in it. It's like, holy fuck, that's cool, and it's incredibly intriguing and was magnetic for myself too, for sure. Yeah,
from a business aspect and also just from a process aspect.
Yeah,
I can say that my values have changed the deeper I've gone into my career. First, obviously, like it's a little bit more about money.
Yeah,
whether we admit, sure, the medicinal aspect of things, I have addicts in my family.
Yeah.
And if they smoke weed, they're fine.
Yeah.
But if they don't smoke weed, it's something worse, you know, alcohol, meth, or whatever, you know. So obviously that's always there. But yeah, the main thing that really gets anyone going is like, yeah, I want to make a fucking bunch of money.
Yeah.
And the deeper I get into this stuff, the deeper I get into my career, the more love I find for everything else, not just the money. Like the money is a byproduct, you know, like I just fucking love machines, dude. I love big, loud machines, making a process A to Z, being able to, you know, look at a massive facility and be like, dude, I fucking
So you fell in love with the process. You fell in love with the actual technical process and the machinery and the size and scale of it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, and you have a massive scale facility.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
We're up there. One of the biggest
in LA, right?
Probably California. Yeah.
Well, which is
everywhere.
Probably close to the world if you're talking about cannabis.
Yeah, there's no one else
as a market, as a whole market.
There's obviously like, I've been to that facility down here in Las Cruces that extracts chili powder. I think they make the red dye. So that's their main thing. They're like an hour and a half from here. I've been to that. So that's not even a facility. It's a plant.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown plant. And they extract hemp on their off time. Well, at least they used to. This was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I
think everybody was.
Those guys are on another story.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and you see, and that is kind of a taste to see where the industry might go.
Yeah. Especially for guys like me.
Well, and federal legalization is looming. It's around the corner. You know, that a lot of people think. What do you think?
Dude, if I had $1 for every time I've had this conversation, I wouldn't even have to be in this industry. I wouldn't even have to work because it's always been on the loom. It's always been around the corner. My guess in 2017, 2018, Cali went rec. I was like, we got 2 years.
Yeah.
We got 3 years, you know. 2021 came around and we almost went backwards with the Delta 8 conversions, hemp derived. We literally went backwards and we're continuing to go backwards right now. This whole THCA thing, dude, people were calling hemp. There's no line anymore.
No line.
So now it doesn't even incentivize, which is a good thing. Yeah. I'd actually prefer that the federal government stayed out of it.
You know, I agree with descheduling. I think they should deschedule.
Deschedule it.
Deschedule it completely.
Yeah, don't reschedule it to 3.
No, and I think that is almost allowing more regulation. That's allowing in my mind over-regulation. And I think if we allow it to go to a 3, it's not necessarily the best thing. It might some things might be better, but I think it's in disguise. I think it's something that we're gonna realize, fuck, we should have just really pushed for descheduling.
Yeah.
And I think the government's way too scared to
at least
deschedule.
Decriminalize.
Exactly.
Like just start there.
Yeah. Well, and I think they're moving towards that. But at the end of the day, if fucking codeine's Schedule 3, if you get caught with a fucking codeine lab, your ass is going fucking straight to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think just descheduling it, people think that it's going to be, that's the answer. And it just makes it another drug.
I can tell you this. This is my forecast. And I've been saying this since the whole THCA thing. I don't know anyone has been paying attention, but I've been ringing the bell for like 4 months. This year, we're going to see a massive, bigger shift than we've ever seen, in my opinion.
Well, the problem is, and you've got places like Texas who are pissed right now because they're realizing that people are just growing and selling weed all over their state. And the whole country that's kind of what's happening. And so all these places that are playing this THCA loophole are gonna make it even worse, in my opinion, because once they crack down on it, like you said, there's gonna be a shift backwards to where they're over-regulating again, and then there's gonna be no conversions, there's gonna be no nothing. They're gonna say
just leave it to the states.
Yep,
good. That's a good thing. The only problem with that is the interstate travel and stuff. But you know what? But that's good though.
It's not a horrible thing.
You know who it's good for? It's good for you.
Yep.
It's good for me because that keeps it keeps
Johnson & Johnson from fucking being attracted to it.
Yes.
And that's
Philip Morris.
Yeah,
Stay out. Well, Philip Morris is lightning in it, but you know what I'm saying. That stops them from planting 3,000 acres.
Exactly.
And buying.
Exactly. No, I think they should leave it up to the states. I think that's a smart thing. I think honestly they should be the way the country's ran. But
dude, that,
you know,
look, I don't want to get political, but that is the way the country is supposed to be ran. They give you rules. They're like, here's the main rules that the federal government protects. Everything else is up to the states, and it says that.
Yeah. Yeah, but then they make little fucking clubs, and you know it's all over for that. The Fed still
the 3-letter alphabet soup shit show that the executive branch has done. The DEA, FDA.
So we were talking earlier about you know, the different parts we play in the industry, and so you were saying, you know, you're just into commodity, you're into the bulk. You guys don't do any packaging or branding or anything. How has that been to watch distillate go from the fucking craziest thing out there to just basically a basic commodity that has a fairly low market rate that kind of goes like this constantly? How's that been to watch that from the, you know, driving seat in a sense?
My perspective on distillate's probably different than other people's, just because it's my main bread and butter and has been for almost a decade.
It's what you make.
It's what I do. And I think that distillate will always be there, no matter what. It's not going anywhere. Conversion, not conversion, extracted, it doesn't matter. Distillate is in 50% of the products that are in most dispensaries.
It's a staple in the cannabis industry. It's a staple in recreational cannabis.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it's always made sense because I appreciate it. Every time I come here, you have a new brand and some new marketing, and like, you're really good at it. And
thank you.
You should do that. You know, I just want to be the guy who sells you distillate eventually. Yeah. Because I'll be able to make it cheaper.
And it's going to get a point where
that's how big business works, dude. Yeah. Right? You see, right now, the way you operate, which is kind of like all under one roof, I do this, that's not how big business works, dude. Big business is, it gets so divided. Like this one guy, like Dasani doesn't even bottle most of their stuff. Like one guy makes it, another guy bottles it, another guy distributes it, you know, another guy is doing the retail.
Correct.
There's so many steps in between. So I don't know, man.
That's your goal, is to just supply everybody with the gold.
Yeah.
What's the highest price you've seen distillate hit in your whole career?
As far as fluctuation, or the highest I've ever seen it in general?
The highest you've ever seen it.
When I started making distillate, clean Cat 3, well, at that time it was category 2. Yeah. Category 2, just so funny because now that means dirt. It's the lingo in our industry, nomenclature is
regulators.
Explain that real quick. What do you mean by category?
Yes. So category 1, 2, and 3 are basically different subverts of regulation that came out in California. This is California specific. Yeah. It is funny because now it's a term nationally, because we definitely set the bar as far as distillate, but category, it was a different subvert of pesticides and heavy metals that came out from the state. So they said
3 was the most strict.
Yes. Yeah. Every time it got stronger and stronger. So the previous categories stayed, but then they would ask for another. So I think there's, I don't quote me on this, I think there's 120.
So now, category 3 is technically the most tests it has been passed, basically, that it has passed. Yeah. And so at one time there was only category 2. So that was the cleanest.
There's category 1.
Yeah, exactly. So it just basically, that's how it progressed. And now there's 3 categories.
Exactly. But so to answer your question.
Yeah. Highest price distillate.
Highest price was about $12,000. Wow. And that was in California.
Yeah. So I saw it, the highest price I ever saw it was 30 grand.
There's still places it is 30 grand.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, there's still places. I mean, I was at a lab a month ago.
Yeah, take me there.
Yeah, right. I mean, they
just
also
leave me there for a little bit.
Like, it's just so crazy. Yeah.
I will distill this whole motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I know. It's funny because I go see those guys. I tell them what I do. I'm like, yeah, we can slam.
Okay, so what's the lowest? What's the lowest you've ever seen it drop to? A tear forms in the corner of his eye.
600.
Oh, okay.
$600 a kilo. That's obviously in bulk. You got to know people.
And that's...
Don't be going to quote me on these.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's the price now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying lowest in the...
real aggressive is like, people never really went to that 575. It's funny, you know, when you're getting towards the bottom of the market, because it is a commodity,
and you're talking about real...
bulk.
Real... No. And real Delta 9.
D9, extracted.
Yeah. Extracted. Because they're now... Fuck. You almost got to ask now.
No, you do.
Because there's so many levels of conversion to... Yeah, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the main lingo in the distillate world is conversion, extracted, dirty, clean, Cat 3.
Okay.
A dirty is Cat 2. People call Cat 2. It's not because it only fails for category 2 pesticides. That's just a nicer name than dirty.
Okay. That's crazy. That's a huge fluctuation. And it's wild that, you know, people can still make money at that low.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, realistically, a farmer, if they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at hemp.
Well, let's talk biomass.
Yeah,
what are you seeing the price of biomass go for? Like, how low have you seen it hit?
The lowest it'll go
for still decent fucking material.
75 cents per percentage point. If you have 10% material,
okay.
Yeah, it goes
per pound.
Well, it goes per percentage point.
Okay.
It doesn't ever go per pound.
Okay.
If people tell me that it goes per pound, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So how does that work per pound? So if it's 10%.
Yeah, so if it's $1 per percentage point.
Yeah.
If it's 10% material.
Yeah.
$1 per.
$10.
Exactly. Per pound.
Per pound. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking cheap. What? What? Yeah. Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah.
And then so let's say, you know, and someone from, you know, because we run Nug out here. I'm sure
your guys' biomass. That's the other metric people don't see, dude. Is that people are like, well, yeah, it's $30,000 a kilo. I'm like, yeah, but their trim, not bud.
Yeah.
Their trim is $800 a pound.
Yeah.
So then it takes 40 of those, 35 of those.
Yep,
you know.
Exactly. So yeah, we run mostly, you know, larfy, you know, if not
small
Nug,
buds. Yeah,
small buds.
Is that for distillate or for
both?
Really?
You know, I mean, there's definitely some barn bags that come in. That's just the shred that goes to like distillate. But
is there any large outdoor crops here?
Yeah, some pretty big ones. That's pretty big ones, but they're, you know, not huge, not like you're talking.
2 acres.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, acre.
I mean, there's probably a couple.
That's a lot of weed.
Don't quote me. There's some chunky ones. We grow way too much weed for the state, so we're gonna start seeing that.
Has it messed up the market? Like, is it over? It's over. Okay. Yeah. What are you guys at for liter wise? Like 5,000, 4,000?
I've heard people going as low as like 3.
Yeah. So you guys are like Arizona. Yeah, you're like so right there.
We're very close to Arizona's market, and then you have Colorado, who's a little better than you guys, but still. I mean, on their way down.
It's gone up and down.
Yeah,
I know people who are really deep in that market. It's same as us.
Yeah,
all of us watched the big boom, which was you had the hemp thing.
Yeah,
and then the hemp guys were like, "Oh, I can do weed too," and you know.
Well, they fucked it up with the fucking hempocalypse because now then there was too much CBD, and now these guys are like, "Well, we'll make it into fucking everything."
Yeah,
and
they were like, "Oh, CBD doesn't get people high, which is what people want."
Well, so now it's funny you say that because now just recently I'm seeing more and more shit about people suing, starting lawsuits over these, you know, we'll call them Delta products, Delta 8 products, Delta
conversions,
Farm Bill compliant, you know, whatever, THCA. They're realizing, oh, when I smoke this bowl of THCA fucking hemp I think I have, I'm high.
Yeah.
And there's people that are pissed about it. There's fucking some, you know, don't quote me, Google it, but there was some Texas congressman, senator, whatever, that was like, we will fucking find out who's getting our fucking families high. Like, they were pissed.
Damn.
And so.
Yeah, that's why I don't want nothing. I don't want anything to do with Texas.
Yeah.
Good market.
I love the people of Texas because they absolutely, you know, they fuel our market here in New Mexico. But man, Texas Texas law and Texas legislation is fucking rough.
Yeah.
They're 20 years fucking behind.
I mean, they're just conservative, and conservative with a lowercase c. Like they're not politically conservative, but they're just literally conservative. They say, look, I don't want any new shit coming in here.
How about where you're from? Do they have cannabis yet in Wyoming?
Hell no.
Really?
Wyoming will be one of the last states.
Yeah, with Texas.
They'll be
in the alliance of states against cannabis.
Yeah, the thing is, what's different with Wyoming is, Texas, 25, 30, no, I think it's more, 30 million people.
It's huge.
Yeah, 36 million. I don't quote me, but there's a lot of people, and it's only getting bigger. It's the fastest growing state. What we'll see in our lifetimes is what California saw between like the 40s and 70s. Yeah. Just nonstop 2.5% growth per year. That's exactly what Texas is going through.
Well, they have plenty of room.
Yeah, they got room. They got resources. They got all the things. But yeah, they're conservative. You know?
That's what always made me feel wild is when people talk about like we're running out of space.
We're not running out of space.
We're not running out of space. Not even close. You just got to get people out of the fucking cities. That's
the thing. 85% of the population of United States lives in the cities.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you start looking at the maps of the light maps where you see all the lights where there's
and
lights
they're all on the East Coast.
Yeah. It's just these little bunches, and there's all this fucking land. So no, but a place like Texas has the room, they have the infrastructure, they have the fucking money. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think you're right. They're gonna blow up. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they'll continue prohibiting cannabis. We could keep fucking making lots of money in New Mexico off of it. But yeah, no.
Do people drive up?
Oh yeah.
Because we got Oklahoma too.
So have you seen? So
Oklahoma's only medical.
That's a good thing to bring up too. Have you seen a big change in like cannabis tourism in California as the different states?
I'm not the right guy to ask about that.
Yeah,
I'm so behind the scenes. I've been in 2 dispensaries in California, maybe maybe more, 3 or 4 max. I just don't care.
You just fill jars.
I fill jars, bro. I extract large amounts of weed. That's what I do.
Yeah, nice. So so you got to drive all over to source it, or you got fucking people sourcing it for you? Just
that's actually
dumping it off.
Thank God, man. My partner he's a pro.
That's his part.
He's a pro. Yeah, that's his part.
Yeah.
So right now we're kind of in the process of probably my goal and what I think is going to end up happening. We're just going to end up growing our own weed.
Yeah,
we're going to go because what we got to look at, and we were talking a little bit about it earlier, is that like there's a huge problem with the timing of the way that it's cultivated right now. So you have your autos and early terms; those come down May to June, right? Yeah. Then after that, it's kind of flooded through the summer. Everybody knows the price is dropping, so no one really spends money. It's just like every year is this crazy fluctuation, which I think it sends ripples effects through the whole industry too. Yeah. And then you have your big harvest in
October.
October through which really bleeds into December, right?
Yeah, of course.
That shit all dries up. Price fucking triples, and it just gets hectic, crazy. Like you should see, and everybody knows me as a distillate guy, so my phone is just going nuts. But the point I'm trying to make is that I think we have to look to other agricultural crops and monocrops and look at the way that they're doing it successfully.
Yeah.
There's a reason why grapes, oranges, strawberries, they're on your shelf at your grocery store, no matter where you live in this country, 24/7.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a reason for that. And I would like to be, not obviously myself, but a part of that bend in the industry where I want to push the envelope. I want to be pulling down winter crops and try to follow the footsteps of these other agricultural giants.
Yeah.
Because that's the next move, dude.
If you see their facilities are usually set up to do so, and they're growing all year round.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is for us, we have to grow outside. Like I'm not really running that many indoor crops. Yeah. We kind of do it like during the slow season like this, but when it's crop season, only outdoor. And that's when this thing really does commoditize completely, and if it is federal or even international, right, we need to be pulling down crops to feed the machines, because realistically, I mean, if I really turned up the volume, I could extract 20,000 pounds a day with like that. Like we have the capability, we have the space, we have the power.
Do you remember
but we don't have the weed, dude.
That makes me think of excuse me. That makes me think of the hempocalypse when all the Chads were going around saying we need a lab that can extract 1,000 pounds a day. Oh, yeah. And that was everybody, no matter where you were at, that's what they needed, and everything was based off 1,000 pounds a day. And it's funny to see how that came full circle. So what are you on average actually extracting?
I
know that's your max capacity.
Not that much. On a good day right now.
Yeah.
6,000-7,000. We don't really need to do much.
Huge.
More. Yeah, we don't really need to do that.
Well, and that comes down to that level too. Is I'm making too much.
Yeah. Well, it's not even about the market. I could make that much.
Yeah.
We could. I really believe if we really turned up our sales, which we don't really try, dude.
Yeah.
It sells itself.
Yeah.
If we turned up the volume, we could sell 2,500, 3,000 liters a week.
Nice.
I think
that's wild.
I think, I think the market would take it.
Yeah.
I think that's what the market wants and or needs. No one really who knows what the actual numbers are as far as like distillate being sold just in California alone.
Yeah.
I have no clue. But the reason we haven't turned it up that much is, like I said, the biomass isn't really it's not there as much as we need it to be.
Yeah.
There's a few guys that are
and clean biomass in that matter. Because I'm sure you guys got dirty biomass thrown at you fucking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and nobody wants to do the work with that. I mean, you can, but
yeah,
it's not fun.
The big thing that we're trying
especially not on a big scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got a really good team and really good SOPs. We know how to, we got it on lock, dude.
Yeah.
That's one thing I take, I actually don't really have to do that much work on that side, which is nice.
Nice.
But the big thing that we're trying to take advantage of that there's been a huge soft spot in the industry is that no one is doing drying, bro. It doesn't exist. Like I
noticed you were fucking around with that.
There's only 2 or 3 guys that are doing it. There's no one doing it like the way we're doing it, which is look, we will take. All you do is grow it, bro.
Yeah.
Literally grow it. Don't even bucket. Because a lot of the guys, they don't have the capability. A lot of these counties that allow these outdoor crops, they say you can't process at all, not even light processing. You can't dry it. You literally can't even field dry it. Like if you cut it off the stem, it has to leave. You cannot put it on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just depending on how much license they have.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of them. That's how in the central coast. That's how it is.
Wow.
So you can't nothing, bro. Not even a neighboring facility or something.
So
it's
just what is it? Just come to you in super sacks, just fucking half down.
Dude, they're like crates from other because there's a lot of farms up there, right?
Yeah.
California grows
everything.
A lot of the food for the whole country. There's no secret there. So there's a lot of facilities, like harvesting facilities and companies that we're taking advantage of that work in other industries. So that is actually the easy part. They'll come down, they'll bring in 50 dudes and they'll chop down.
Wow.
Dude, acreage.
And then bring it right to you.
Bring it right to me.
Refrigerated trucks?
Refrigerated truck.
Wow. And so you're sending it through the dryers at that point and actually drying it out.
Which that's the next thing we're really going to turn the volume up on. The extraction is actually not as much our selling point or even really our focal point as the drying is.
Well, and you can give them both. So are any of them having you dry it and then just give it back to them?
Yes.
Not extract it?
We're going to do that too.
So you offer that service
Pre-processing
as well.
too, yeah.
Nice. Well, that's cool. So you've actually found a niche within that bulk processing area. That's cool. That's smart.
Which is funny because I didn't even want to do it. I've always just been an extractor.
Yeah.
I've always been around drying. I've always been around it and I hear about it and talk about it oh yeah, when I get the biomass, I want it like this, but that's been the extent. And now I'm responsible for the whole thing. And my partner, I got to give him credit. He pushed me for that. We're going to dry. I'm like, dude, we're not drying, bro.
Yeah.
No, we're not. I'm not a cannabis dryer.
I'm sure it wasn't hard to find one laying around.
You know what? My buddy actually had one laying in a fucking field on a farm.
Yep.
And I brought that thing back to life.
Yeah.
And it worked so well that I designed my own. We got a second one coming and probably eventually get a third and fourth.
Nice. So you've just basically figured out how it works and just
Dude, I mean,
make them.
I know that we could take in, if we really pushed it, bro. If we really, really pushed it, we could take in 3-4 acres per 24 hours.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts to think about that scale of extraction because we're definitely not, we're in the hundreds of pounds a day, which feels great. But we're definitely not in that realm.
Yeah.
Nice. How big of a facility are you working with?
26,000 square. The facility itself is big, way bigger, but we just have
You're occupying that.
And honestly, we could do a little less. I think I could get away with 20,000. You just got to know how to organize.
Nice. Yeah, man, there's not any facilities like that out here. It's definitely a different
different
market.
That's what I said. The one thing would be Las Cruces, but those guys don't dry.
Yeah.
They don't dry. That's the thing. That's the magic recipe. And to be honest with you, dude, like, you know what I do in my spare time?
What's that?
I watch processes on like YouTube and Discovery Channel. Like, I love learning how industrial processes work, not just even agriculture, oil, anything, which I do obviously love those, but just mining and everything. I'm like always looking for ways to like, and I know it's simple, like even just little basic YouTube videos, dude, I learned a lot. I'm like, wow, that's how they.
What's your background? Do you have a background in anything like that?
No.
Nope.
Self-taught.
Well, because you're pretty young.
I am 28.
Yeah. Nice. So
that's all I've ever done. This has been my
background's cannabis.
Yeah, that's it, dude. I think I started when I was 19 or 20, and it's all I've done my adult life.
That's wild.
But I fucking love it.
What would you change if you could have changed something along the way?
Like if I could go back?
Yeah.
Nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's gotten you to where you wanted to get.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? There's one thing I could say is when in my early days, living out of a car, broke, desperate, I was so dedicated to extraction, bro. I was so dedicated. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing anything else. Even when it didn't permit me to, I should at that time, I could have done what I did and probably lived a little more comfortable if I would have just got a job bartending on the weekends or something.
Yeah.
But I refused, bro. I was like, this is what I'm doing.
Hash or die.
Yeah. Back when shatter
it worked.
Shatter was $7,000 a pound, bro.
The shatter days, the slab days.
You remember that?
Yep. Pizza boxes.
That was the only thing. No one wanted crumble or sugar. Sugar wasn't even around yet. Like
just shatter.
I
have the two big, I'm sure you saw them in there, the big AI vacuum ovens now. And I look at those like every day I pass them, I think, man, wish I had those back in fucking shatter days.
Yeah,
like
right. They didn't even exist back then.
No, this is top of the line fucking ovens.
With the
shot
heated
AI,
shelves.
Each individual.
Yeah.
Dude.
It didn't exist.
No, and I look at them now and think, man, I could have pushed so much fucking slabs.
Oh, man.
We still make shatter. We still make some pretty good shatter.
Do you?
People still buy it. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I haven't
nice clean shatter.
done it myself, a hydrocarbon extract in probably 6 years.
Wow. Just converted all the distillate.
Only ethanol.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. It's definitely a whole different ballgame. We do ethanol extraction too. Not as big as you guys do. You guys got two big ass centrifuges, yeah?
The big ones.
Nice.
200 pounds.
Wow.
At a time.
Fucking jacuzzis.
It's pretty cool. They're fucking scary though.
Yeah.
They're very loud and
I'd imagine.
I mean, if one of those comes undone, they're gonna cut somebody in half.
Yeah. Well, that's where
no one does.
That's what gets crazy is when you start getting to a certain scale. Yeah, you get big boy fucking equipment.
Oh yeah, there's some of our stuff that's 2 stories.
Yeah.
You gotta climb up on it and there's like it's crazy.
Yeah. Next time I'm in LA, I'll have to come check
Do you ever come to LA?
No.
So many people hate on LA, dude, and I fucking love it. I don't ever want to leave.
I don't mind it. There's good food, but yeah, California in general. I don't visit Cali too much.
You know what's funny? Is everybody thinks of it as the most regulated state and everybody's like communists.
Yeah.
And that definitely is there. I'm not saying it's not. California is one of the freest places I have ever been.
Really?
Dude, there's just so many people, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why there's so much regulation. It's because it's out of control.
Yeah.
The regulation does nothing though.
Yeah.
Dude, Los Angeles is Gangsters Paradise.
Yeah.
It really is. It is a Gangsters Paradise. Like, it's one of the few places I've ever been where, like, dude, you couldn't get pulled over if you tried. They don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is a little dangerous, which I love. I'd rather take my safety in my own hands than.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine. Fuck, especially with, like, now they're just letting, like, people do whatever the fuck. There's a lot of places in Cali where they've just completely
just let it
given
go.
up on any. San Francisco is a fucking becoming like a fucking armpit, bro.
That place is a different story. There's a lot of reasons why San Francisco ended up the way it did.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy to start watching cities kind of deteriorate when they start just letting shit go and saying, fuck it, do whatever you guys want. We love everybody. Find a safe space.
It's a beautiful thing about America.
Yep.
It's a great experiment, right?
It is.
What works in Seattle probably won't work in Houston.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
I love it.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. And it's cool to experience the different cities, experience the different culture. I'm guessing that's one thing cannabis has definitely done, is brought you to all kinds of places.
I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
Not because of cannabis, but kind of because I've been to a couple countries, and I have friends in every corner of the country, bro.
So what's next? What are you excited about? What's next on the goal chart?
For me as a person, or for,
I don't know, in general.
Extraction?
Yeah. For what you're trying to do.
Man, continue on the road I'm on. I am expanding faster than I'm right on the fringe of comfort.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And it's a good problem to have. But yeah, I'm just invested in 5 solid projects.
Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah, there's always that level of, like, I'm doing too much, that feeling of drowning, or like you're actually moving with it.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy it's a good thing. I mean, I'm rolling every cent I make back in. It doesn't matter how much money I make, it just rolling it back in. It's not all about money too, man. I'm definitely, like, trying to get to a good place with myself. Obviously finance. I want to have a really good financial health before I bring a child into this world.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, it's definitely easier to do it with money than broke. So yeah, I've been through both. So yeah, definitely not always.
Yeah, you were very young when you had your kids.
Yeah. And so no, I've been broke. I've had money. I've been comfortable. So yeah, it's definitely easier to.
Dude, you're getting some fucking good grays on your beard.
Yeah, it's full. It's getting pretty wizard. Fucking
starting to get wizard status, dude.
Fucking, I was looking at the goats this morning, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm turning into a goat. I was like, I guess that's a good thing. So what's the wildest story you got? What's your wildest cannabis story?
Oof.
That you can tell on.
That's what I'm.
He's like, no, not that one. No, fuck, no, don't say that.
My career has been pretty wild.
Yeah,
definitely getting. I haven't told my mom this story, but I'm just gonna keep it real. Getting robbed and kidnapped was probably definitely right up there with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, how'd that happen?
Dealing with the wrong people, dude.
Yeah.
You know, when I moved to Los Angeles, I had a little bit of I had experience under my belt, but I didn't have a network. So you obviously have to establish a network. And the only way you do that is by extending trust.
Yeah.
And talking to people and dealing with people. And yeah.
You dealt with the wrong people.
Dealt with the wrong guys.
Oof.
Dealt with the wrong guys. They got me good. And then they had, it was a crazy situation, dude. Like, it went from, like, all cool, this guy gives me a Lambo for the week. Like, he's just like, yeah, we have all these exotic cars, yada, yada. Like, it was all a sell, which I was a fucking dumbass. I drank it up. Like,
yeah.
But you know what the weird thing was? I knew this guy for a long time. That was the thing. It wasn't like I just met this guy and out of the gate, because that would have been too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
I knew him for a long time and actually dealt with him. And I just don't ever think he had the crosshairs pointed at me. And then eventually that did change.
Yeah.
And I think the crosshairs kind of got pointed at me. And yeah. Then it was like, oh, we need, come to this party and come to this house and exotic cars and houses up in the, on top of the Beverly Hills. You're like, damn, this is legit. Like this is the real deal.
Yeah.
And yeah, gun pointed at my face. Get the fuck on the ground. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, boom, like this, right in my face. Right when I opened, he's like, he was fucking around. He's like, what's in your safe? Like, no. I'm like, it wasn't even that much, bro. Got me in. We opened the safe. He just took my shit. He's like, get in the car. We're going. I'm like, fuck you. I ain't going nowhere. And he's like, do you want? And he had a dude there with him, which was kind of the muscle. He was like some dude from out of the country.
Yeah.
Dangerous man, obvious, like private security looking guy, like 6'5", 250 pounds.
No shit.
Both with guns. Yeah. So I got in the car. They were like, you need to round up some money. So I called a friend, got some money.
Yeah.
Gave it to him. 50 grand, which I had to pay back later.
Yeah.
Sucked, dude. Yeah, it sucked.
But they let you go.
They kept pushing really hard. They kept trying to go to my house, and I was like laying it. That was, because look, everybody wants to act like they'll be a tough guy.
Yeah.
It's different when you see like real criminals.
Yeah.
That will kill you, point a gun at your face.
So you think it was a stick that they had? They did it. It was all planned out.
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
They were going with the flow, dude. But these guys were, that's what they do. This is like their gig. They're masters, bro. They were masters. I don't think about it a crazy amount anymore because it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I just would play it in my head. I'd replay it in my head, dude. It was just the craziest experience, dude. They were masters. Like, I can't tell you, like
manipulation and how they manipulate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the situation and going with the flow. What are those guys called? Scam artists. Like they were fucking artists, bro. Like con man is not even the right word. They were artists.
They were
it wasn't
they were
art,
acting. Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah. They acted the whole thing
The
out.
whole thing, dude.
And totally got you in the right.
And then
right
all of a sudden
space.
there's this new guy and he's big and like doesn't speak English. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? But I had already done like a decent amount of transactions with this guy, so
yeah,
thought it was cool, but it wasn't. But yeah, that was probably
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you since then I have been very into guns. So if anyone questions me too, my loyalty to the Second Amendment, if any fucking man ever encroaches on me like that again, I will put
fucking
5 fucking holes in you.
Smoke
I don't give a fuck if you have kids. I don't give a fuck if you're disabled. Grandmother relies on you, bro. If you encroach on me like that, I will fucking end you. That's how I feel now.
Well, fat people are hard to kidnap, so I've never been really been a target. But no, I definitely believe in the Second Amendment, and I feel the same. Yeah, at this point in life, man, if anybody wants to encroach on you whatsoever, yeah, that's what they deserve. So sorry that happened to you. Glad you're here to tell it. Glad it only cost you that much.
Don't have any PTSD from it.
Yeah.
Only learned a lesson.
Yeah. No, that's wild. Well, and it's kind of a good lesson for everybody to learn is, be careful who the fuck you trust. Be careful who you hang around with. And a situation can seem, like you said, completely, like a dream, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not.
It's not. That's like the big difference between places like this, like getting into the whole Los Angeles like big city thing. Like you don't do that shit here. And if you do, it does happen.
Versions of it.
Yeah. But the thing is with that, like, dude, those guys nothing ever happened to them, bro. And nothing will.
Yeah.
Because that shit happens all the time in LA.
Wow. And they have, like you said, they have a con. They have a way they do it where it's good. And I'm sure they get people constantly. And that's how they survive. Yeah, no, Yeah, well, hopefully they run into the right person.
Karma's real, dude.
You know what I mean? I truly believe in that. And, you know, there's going to be somebody that says, yeah, no, motherfucker. And so, yeah, no, carry a gun. So that's pretty much, that's all you can say about that. Well, fuck yeah, man. Super cool that you came down. How can people follow you? If people are interested, how can people follow you?
Instagram's really the only way.
That's your spot?
That's my spot, dude.
Right.
And I don't even really have that much. And it's funny because I don't really accept that many followers. I have a private page.
So you can try to find them on Instagram.
Yeah, if we have people in mutual people, then I'll accept it.
All right. Well, cool for having you on, man. Thank you for coming down. I hope you enjoy Albuquerque, and yeah, till next time.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate it.